Okay, Sunshiners, so today I'm going to show you how to work the chain space on round 13. And this will also come up a little bit later in part 2. You'll also be doing the same sort of chain space in round 29. So if you do get stuck there, you can always just refer back to the video. I'm going to show you a little bit of a cheat today, but you didn't hear this from me, okay? So shh. Okay, so what we are going to be doing is we are going to be working into these front posts which we made around our puff stitches. So you need to start, we're going to be working on the wrong side of the work, so flip your work over so that the wrong side is facing you. Now sometimes it does get a little bit tricky when you're working on the wrong side of your work to actually see which stitch to catch in the front of your work. So if that happens, just flip your work over so you can see nicely what you're doing. So now this is where the little bit of a cheat comes in. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to thread my hook through that stitch and get my yarn in there so my yarn is towards the back. And then what we do is we just tie that yarn on. And this is a trick you can use for changing colors as well. But again, remember, you didn't hear this from me. I'm teaching you now how to cheat in crochet. So if you were changing colors, you've got your yarn tied on into your space or your stitch, and then you just start with your chain 2 or chain 3 or whatever the pattern tells you to do. So now we need to get a chain space here. So we are going to just hook that yarn. You see my hook is actually working around that front post. So you will see the stitch from the front of your work. And then we are going to chain 14. It's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now if you flip your work over, okay, you'll see that little chain space is lying neatly along the top of your work from the one front post to the next front post. If that chain is pulling and it pulls behind your work, you've chained a little bit tight there. So just watch your tension on these chain spaces. So back to the back of your work. Okay, and then we need to slip stitch around that front post that we worked around the puff. So like I say, it gets a little bit tricky, so just pop your hook in. Make sure you're hooking that front post under those stitches, and you just do a little slip stitch. Okay, and you can see that chain is lying nicely across the top of that work there, and this is, it actually makes a really pretty round. It's like a really pretty little embellishment on the next round. And then we just carry on to the next one. Now what you can also do if you have got OCD like some of my testers, I won't mention any names, shall I? Okay, with 3, 4, we're just doing that chain space, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So what you can do here now, if you don't want that slip stitch to show in the front of your work, you can see mine is showing where I've slip stitched on those little front posts. What you can do is slip stitch into the half double that is being hidden by that front post. That's the light pink that you can see there. So you can pop your slip stitch into that stitch like so, and then when you flip your work over, you don't have that little stitch showing in the front of your work. It's nicely hidden behind the back, and that chain space still works perfectly and will still work perfectly on your next round.